Big topic in New York, besides the heat, is the mayoral primary election coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Democrats get to choose who will go on to get the Democratic nod, the ticket to run as a Democrat, and which would give you pretty much the odds-on favorite to win the general election for mayor. But that is tomorrow, and the two big contenders here would be, of course, Andrew Cuomo, who was the governor, got thrown out for murdering a bunch of elderly people during the COVID pandemic, and resigned because of alleged sexual misconduct. And now he's at the top of the ticket running for mayor of New York City. Or your other choice, who recently has taken the lead, I believe, in the primary. Some of the polls have this guy, Zorhan Mandani. Zorhan Mandani. Yes, he is a Muslim. Look how great having Muslim mayors have worked out for places like, London. It's a nightmare. So this guy is also blatantly communist. He is not only unapologetic, he celebrates communism. And the latest polls have him leading Andrew Cuomo, which is frightening. It should be frightening for New Yorkers, but New Yorkers are the idiots voting. They're the ones voting for these people. Now, you do have a third choice, a Republican, but will you do that? Will you vote for Curtis? Curtis Lewa, the Republican candidate for mayor of New York City. He's a good guy, a decent guy, and a guy who knows New York and wants to fix some of the that's going on. I don't care if he likes cats. Yeah, guy likes cats. Yeah, good. Who cares? You'd rather have that or this communist? You're going to get a communist. And I have no real hope. I would prefer Curtis Lewa win. I do have to still go up and do business in New York every month or so. But this Zorhan Mandani guy, he's just bad news. A Muslim and a communist. Like one isn't as bad as the other, and then you get both of them. Here's his idea for grocery stores, supermarkets in New York City. You know, you have various supermarkets. Gristedes, my boss over there at WABC, he owns Gristedes, or the guy D'Agostino's, and there's a few of these places, and they're very angry, the Democrats and communists and Muslims, that the prices in these places are too high. Well, it's New York City. It's going to be expensive. Don't like it, leave. I wish everyone would leave New York. Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I am Gavin McInnes.
Together, we're Compound Censored.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it. It's uncensored and oh so entertaining. But he's got a plan. He's got a plan to bring prices down. And listen to this genius on how he's going to make groceries affordable to everyone in New York City.
Grocery prices are out of control. The cost of eggs and milk has skyrocketed. Some stores are even using dynamic pricing, jacking up the cost over the course of a day depending on what they can get away with. It doesn't need to be this way. I'm Zohran Mandani, and as mayor, I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce. We will redirect city funds from corporate supermarkets to city-owned grocery stores, whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive or having to pay property taxes or rent, and will pass on those savings to you. Grocery prices are out.
Will ya? Pass on the savings to you. That isn't how communism works. Not only that, it's not for profit. Yeah, of course not. When has a city run anything been profitable? When has a city run anything that's been profitable? It doesn't. They are all these boondoggles of waste and bureaucratic red tape and anything else that so people could just pilfer money from it. And this guy thinks that New York City is going to be able to run a supermarket chain and pass the savings on to you. That will be lining the pockets of every politician in New York City. Whatever they can skim. Just watch Casino. Watch the movie Casino and watch how the mob skims money off of the casino. That's what would happen here. You'd have politicians stealing the money, saying, oh, that money from the supermarkets needs to be allotted to this social program or some climate thing or whatever it is. And then they take a bunch of that money, and then there's administrative fees and all this other thing that they pilfer. And then at the end, if you even have a quarter left to go, there you go, passing that savings on to you. This is a communist idea. It's state-run commerce. It's a state-run thing. They want a store that's run by the government. And the way he describes it also right in that clip is that the prices will be cheaper and will undermine the commercial supermarkets who, in his dream world, would go out of business. And then there would only be government-run supermarkets in New York. Imagine the shortages. The government can't run anything. The trains are late. The subway system isn't profitable. None of the MTA, that's a bureaucratic run system. And nothing works. Nothing is profitable. But this guy's going to run supermarkets. And now imagine a New York City government-run supermarket. Who do you think is going to be working there? Who do you think this guy, Mamdani, who do you think he's going to hire to work in these supermarkets? You are going to see the dumbest of the dumb, lowest of the low IQ thugs. They'll be stealing more than they're working in these places. And speaking of stealing, do you think a government-run Democrat, communist New York, do you think they'd prosecute anyone that comes in there to steal from their government-run supermarket? Are you out of your mind? No, they need it. It's bread and milk for the family. This has places like Cuba and Venezuela as prime examples as to why this doesn't work. This is blatant communism. And this is his first idea. This is a big idea before even taking office. This is to get votes. This should be a platform that would be voter kryptonite. Any rational thinking city would look at that ad and go, holy, thank God he put this ad out. I was almost going to vote for him. But it's New York. They will look at this guy and go, oh, yeah, that'd be great. Because they're all dumb pieces of shit. Freeloaders or white liberals that think this is a great idea. And you're New York, you are. And the good alternative to him is Andrew Cuomo, another guy, but at least he's not pushing for state-run businesses that are gonna make it impossible for you to get your groceries. Look at what happens in these communist places. They don't have toilet paper, food. The shelves are empty because the government isn't good at doing things, especially when there's not a motive for profit. The reason, if you own a supermarket, you're the owner of a supermarket, your motivation isn't to feed people. It's to feed people, yeah, your family. It's to make money. That is the motivation in a capitalist society. The only reason there's food on the shelves in a privately owned supermarket, the only reason that owner keeps the shelves stocked is if a person comes in and doesn't get what they want, they will go to the other privately owned supermarket where the guy does have the shelves stocked, and you will be out of business. So it's in your best interest, your bank account's best interest, your family eating in their best interest, to stock the shelves full of all the food people want. Now let's look at a city-run supermarket where there isn't a for-profit motive. What is the motivation there? Why would they keep those shelves stocked with food that is going to cost the city money? There's no getting it for free, so they're going to have to buy it. They're going to have to spend money in order to stock those shelves in the hope that customers will come in and buy their food and they can break even. So where's the motivation? There isn't any. And then look at anything the city does and what the motivation is and how well they do that job based on that motivation. Every single instance you will find they do a terrible job. The service is terrible. The goods are terrible. Everything. And they don't care about it. That's the other thing. If you don't like what's going on in the supermarket and the shelves aren't stocked, you can go to the owner and voice your displeasure. And if they fix the problem, they fix it. If they don't, they don't. You go somewhere else. What are you going to do with the city? Yeah, we'd like these shelves stocked. Budget. We don't have it in the budget. But see, you drove all the private supermarkets away with your initial low prices with this whole thing, and now we can't get what we need. That's terrible, isn't it? Well, hopefully you can do with a half a loaf of bread and 3 eggs and no toilet paper. This is communism. So good luck. Good luck, New York. You are so stupid, New York. You are so stupid. I will be up next weekend to do my show in New York City, and I will let you know in person how stupid you are. Meanwhile, you do have privately owned stores in New York City, and what they have to do is also stunning because of Democrat leadership in New York. Here's a guy from out of state. He comes into New York. He wants to go into a store and buy something. Now, he's from one of these flyover countries in the middle of America. He says it in the clip, but I don't remember what it was. Might be Montana or Minnesota or something. And he's totally vexed. He's completely bewildered with this concept that he has to pay before he even goes into the store. Now, of course you would wonder, what? That isn't how stores work. In New York, that's how stores have to work because they rob them blind. Now imagine a government-owned supermarket where any gadgetry like this would be considered racist. You can't have the government running a supermarket that has racist things like locks on the goods or you have to pay before you get in. These poor people don't even have IDs. How are they going to pay with a credit card? They don't have IDs to get a credit card. So sad. That's why when you ask ID to vote, it's racist. So this guy is completely perplexed by the idea of paying before you can even walk into a store. Watch this.
Order my mother, I never seen a store where you had to pay to get inside, and then when you pay to get inside, you gotta pay to get whatever you want. Miss, why I gotta pay to get inside the store? What type of shit is this? What's going on? Why I gotta pay to get in?
Where are you from?
I'm from Montana.
Oh,
In Montana, we don't gotta pay.
Where
to get
is
inside
you
the store.
from?
What's New York? What's this about? Like, if I tap my card, is it gonna open? How you gotta pay to get inside the store? What? Order my mother. I never seen a store.
Where is you from? Now that's a privately owned place, and look who's working there. Now imagine a city-run supermarket and what they would be like. She's in a private establishment saying, "Where is you from?" Oh, Christ. So, you take that with you, New York City. You run with it. You vote tomorrow. And I'll tell you right now, Zorhan Mandani, you vote for him to be the Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City, because you deserve everything you get if you vote for this guy. Everything you get. You think de Blasio is bad? Oh, de Blasio. You think Adams is bad right now? At least Adams is a former cop, for whatever that's worth. The NYPD has a lot of officers. That's the one thing that's kept them from becoming more like Chicago or some of these other shitty cities, is that they have an army of police officers. Whether they're competent or not is questionable, but they do have numbers. And this guy, Mamdani, he wants to cut the police department, have people go to other agencies, go to these 911 calls. Like, remember you heard that some of these Democrats, especially in places like Seattle, and they want counselors. They want counselors to go to crime scenes and talk to the people instead of cops. How many counselors will be dead? Here is Zohran Mandani in an interview, and he talks about wanting social workers to deal with crime in black communities. And listen to this insanity, and imagine, if you will, the unbelievable crime that will come of this guy taking the reins of the NYPD and all other services as mayor of New York. Watch this.
So do you think that we have to almost do without policing in certain areas which are labeled to be high crimes, to have alternative bodies, do the policing in a more
there'll be bodies, all right,
more merciful, more social, assisting and helping, more than arresting and putting in jail.
I
more than just
absolutely
arresting.
think that what we need to do is give support and funding to institutions that are trained to deal with these kinds of issues. Mm-hmm. As you said, if you're having an argument with someone and there's a risk of it escalating, who is better positioned to de-escalate it? Someone who is well known in the community, or someone who has been trained specifically in de-escalation, or a stranger who has a gun? And we see so many situations where encounters with police, the police arrive and all of a sudden the tension rises even astronomically to what it was prior. Right. And I think that we need to say and ask ourselves, look at how policing is done in the suburbs, in wealthier, whiter America. When people make mistakes, the answer is not to throw them in jail. No. The answer is not to, put them in a cage and throw away the key. The answer is to try and find a non-carceral solution.
Absolutely.
Community service, something where, they learn from their mistakes. There's a sense of accountability and growth, all these kinds of things, which for many people in this country, especially black people, are not offered the same opportunity.
Well, not offered.
As you know,
they're not offered the same opportunity. Oh, have you seen some of the savages the police deal with that started out as a domestic dispute? Do you think a counselor or some social worker going there is going to be able to de-escalate? You can't de-escalate a animal that wants to do harm to everybody in his wake. What do you, and this guy, all he's talking about is what we already see, letting these people out of jail. No bail, no lockup. Oh, yeah, community service. Oh, that's it. I've yet to see a crime where the police were involved and had to arrest people that could have been solved with community service. These aren't mistakes. You know, like the white communities, you make a mistake and we're not talking about mistakes. We're talking about crimes. Not a mistake. Somebody at Starbucks puts in too much sugar in your coffee. Do the cops come in and put them on the ground and arrest them? That's a mistake. They learn from their mistakes. Don't put that much sugar in the coffee. But they're not mistakes. They're crimes. Violent crimes. And what the fuck is this guy talking about? Letting more people out of jail, taxpayers paying for more programs that don't work, that will release animals into the communities. You'll pay more and you'll get less in the way of safety and security and policing and whatnot. So again, he's all yours, New York. New York City, you have a job to do tomorrow. Pick your Democrat candidate. It's either Cuomo or this guy. And then when the election happens, you can vote for Curtis Sliwa or whoever wins this primary election tomorrow. And if it's this Mamdani guy and you all have it in your head that you want him to be your mayor, good luck. I won't even pray for you. You've brought every single thing upon yourself with a simple vote. So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.